Welcome, curious minds. Today we're embarking on a deep dive into an incredibly recent and sadly tragic event. It's really sent ripples through the aviation world, the crash of Air India Flight 171.
Yes, it's definitely caught everyone's attention.
We've got some initial reports, preliminary findings, based on Air India Flight 171 crash, a tragic maiden failure.
Our mission for you today is really to cut through the noise, get straight to the key facts and the immediate implications.
Exactly.
Like what actually happened in those critical seconds right after takeoff, and what are some of the maybe surprising details coming out?
Well, what's truly unsettling here is just how fast it all happened, and the specific circumstances, especially with the particular aircraft model. It's quite unique. Let's try and unpack that timeline and, the first technical clues investigators are really zeroing in on.
Okay, let's start there. The sheer shock of it. June 12, 2025. Air India Flight 171. It's a Boeing 7878 Dreamliner, tail number VT-A and B, heading to London Gatwick. And it crashes just an astonishing 36 seconds after taking off from Ahmedabad. 36 seconds? It's barely comprehensible.
I mean, that's barely enough time to even think about retracting the landing gear.
Right. And this wasn't contained to the airport either. The aircraft actually hit a hostel building, part of the BJ Medical College, which just amplified the tragedy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the human cost is, it's staggering. 241 of the 242 people on board died. That includes 230 passengers, 12 crew members, and then on the ground, another 39 people lost their lives, with about 60 injured. It's a catastrophe.
Just devastating. But amidst all this darkness, there's this one detail that's almost unbelievable. A glimmer of, incredible luck, I suppose.
Yeah.
There was one survivor.
Yes, a sole survivor. Reportedly was sitting in seat 11A.
His name is Vishwash Kumar Ramesh. And there were some initial claims about his identity, maybe an arrest.
Right. Those circulated early on, but they've been completely debunked now. False identity claims are off the table.
Okay, good. From an investigative angle, how important is having a sole survivor in figuring out something that happened so fast? Especially, alongside the black box data.
Oh, that's a great point. Someone like Vishwash Kumar could be, invaluable. He provides a human perspective on those seconds. What did he see? What did he feel, hear? That kind of testimony, once he's able to give it, it adds a layer that the technical data just can't capture. It's the experience inside the cabin.
Right, I see. So while they're working towards understanding his experience, what were the immediate clues from the flight itself? What happened right before the crash?
Well, we know the flight crew managed to get out a mayday call. They reported a rapid loss of power, loss of thrust, very shortly after getting airborne.
A mayday, okay.
Yes, and video footage seems to confirm this. The descent started only about 17 seconds after takeoff.
17 seconds.
An incredibly short window. It tells us the failure wasn't gradual. It was immediate, catastrophic. The crew had almost no time.
And thankfully, they found the black boxes.
Yes, both flight recorders have been recovered, which is absolutely critical for piecing together this, incredibly rapid sequence.
So what are those boxes potentially telling us? Any early hints?
Well, some early reports suggest the ram air turbine, the RAT, might have deployed.
The RAT, okay. Remind us what that is.
Sure. So the RAT is basically a small propeller that pops out of the aircraft fuselage. It generates emergency power, like for essential flight controls or hydraulics, if you lose both engines or have a major electrical failure. It's a last resort.
Okay. So if that deployed.
If it deployed so early, just seconds after takeoff, that's highly unusual. It strongly points investigators towards a severe systemic failure happening almost instantly. It really narrows the focus, doesn't it? Away from, say, a gradual problem towards something like a dual engine failure or a major hydraulic issue right away. It really raises questions about the plane's mechanical state right at takeoff.
Wow. And the investigation itself sounds like a huge effort.
Oh, absolutely. It's a massive undertaking. You've got India's AAIB leading, but they're working closely with Boeing, with GE, who made the engines, and international bodies, too, the U.S. NTSB, the FAA, the U.K.'s AAIB. It's a truly global collaboration.
Which makes sense given the implications.
Exactly. The scale reflects the complexity and, frankly, the global nature of aviation safety.
So while all that technical work is going on, we can't forget the immediate human fallout that's still very much happening.
No, absolutely not. The human impact is just profound. As of June 22nd, forensic teams had identified 251 victims using DNA. 245 bodies have been returned to their families. And you hear reports from Ahmedabad about mental health professionals dealing with severe trauma, not just among the families, but in the wider community, too. The scars run deep.
Of course. And looking beyond that immediate grief, what about the airline, Air India, and the broader industry?
Well, Air India reacted quickly. They temporarily cut back some flights, suspended a couple of routes to Singapore, trimmed their narrow-body routes, shorter flights by about 5%. And their wide-body international flights, the bigger jets like the 787, were reduced by about 15% through mid-July. It's partly for extra inspections, partly managing resources, and frankly, public confidence.
The standard procedure, but significant.
And Boeing, this was their flagship Dreamliner. Yeah, Boeing definitely felt it. Their stock dipped slightly, about 0.4%. Analysts immediately started asking questions, raising concerns about engine integrity, about the 787's record. And, this crash really overshadowed things like the Paris Air Show that was happening. All eyes turned to this.
And here's a fact that just really stands out, puts it all in context. This was the first ever fatal accident involving a Boeing 787 Dreamliner.
That's the bombshell, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the plane's been flying since 2011. That's, 14 years with a perfect fatal accident record.
Precisely. It's not just a surprising statistic. It fundamentally challenges the perception of this aircraft. The 787 has this reputation for being advanced, safe, efficient. So this puts immense pressure on Boeing, on GE, on regulators to find out exactly what happened, and fast.
Right. So investigators are digging into the black boxes, looking at that R8 deployment timeline. Regulatory bodies are already doing safety audits on Air India's 787s and 7777s, and public scrutiny on airline safety, on oversight. It's understandably sky high right now.
As it should be.
This deep dive, really, it's just scratched the surface. It's complex. It's evolving. So for you, our listener, here's something to think about. We know the 787 had this spotless fatal accident record until now. We know the initial findings point towards a major power or hydraulic issue almost immediately after takeoff. So what unexpected design vulnerability or maybe an operational issue might that black box data reveal? Something that could fundamentally change how we think about emergency procedures in those